Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a ranked game in my black. This is my current damage record for February up until February 15th. Going over the matchmaking, you're gonna see 4 battleships. There's just a lot more HP to farm. 1 radar cruiser, a Buffalo, and a Fletcher. And I'm gonna walk you through basically how I approach this match.
Battle starts.
And really the most crucial aspect of this match is the opening, 3-4 minutes. So the map's Sleeping Giant, and there's usually 3 courses of action you see radar cruisers take. The first is the radar cruiser tries to sneak in this position. It's a really strong position if they're not counter spotted. Second is you'll see sometimes the radar cruisers come over here, try to pick up whatever buffs out here. There is a repair out here, so that's could be relatively important enough to entice a cruiser out there. But they'll sneak back into a position somewhere in here to be able to radar this side of the map. The third option, they try to go 1-2, and that can be hit or miss. I kind of expect with this many battleships, I expect it to be kind of battleship here. Now, what I'm doing, you'll notice I'm not on the cap nearly as tight as I normally am, and I'm doing that just because I don't know if the radar cruiser's here, don't know if it's there. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this cap as bait. If this cap gets flipped, I know that there's a DD that crossed somewhere up into here in the cap, and I'll be able to radar it for our team, and that'll also mean that this Buffalo pushing up is going to be able to follow up, and we'll really be able to punish it. Also, my positioning here is to let me spot if this radar cruiser pops up in here. I dropped the torps basically as, dual purpose. They're flooding the cap with torps, as well as flooding back here behind the island where this radar cruiser might be. So a lot of dual purpose actions that I'm doing right now. I spot the Iowa, and I'm just going to circle back around, and I slow up because I don't want to get that much closer to the cap. And just sniffing around here. I know that this Fletcher may have torpedoes going, so I want to try to stick close to this island where I can use that as a torpedo break since my RPF's up here. I spot the Buffalo and calling target on him and just kiting out. At this range, the Buffalo is going to have a hard time doing anything to me. I'm already kiting out before he even gets his first shot off, and my battleships are already going to work on the guy, and I'm just content with punishing this guy just by keeping him lit. And black torpedoes, yeah. This Fletcher was probably looking to try to smoke up his Buffalo. That would be a really good play. Instead, walked into my torps that were just zoning that entire area out. For those that don't have black, you'll note it normally has, I believe, a 13.5 kilometer torp range. I'm actually running torpedo acceleration on it just to get under I believe it's a sub 8-second reload time or reaction time on the torps, and that really makes them lethal. If you catch a ship that's traveling to you, the torps just pop right up in their face. There's nothing they can do about it, and these torps hit hard. So if you look, I'm just, reversing. All I'm doing is just keeping that cruiser lit as long as I could, and my battleships have worked that guy over pretty good. Unfortunately, he's able to get into cover. I could try to radar here, but I think he just kept reversing. So I'm just gonna go ahead, pick up this reload, and I see the Jean Bart, and this is looking good. Good here. Got an FDG that's taking the one line. He's gonna push through. He's gonna be able to pick up these caps. With his hydro, he could hydro anything back in here. So we got some good synergy, excuse me, on what would be a cap. I dropped torpedoes, mainly two things that I was looking at. One, this Jean Bart's going to try to bow in against the Missouri, against the Buffalo, or he'd try to turn out. So I dropped torpedoes, one for each. And I'm just going to catch him on the cheek right here. Get another flood. And again, you can see just how hard these torpedoes hit. At this point, my Missouri is able to persistently spot the Jean Bart. Everybody seems like they're shooting AP at him. His repair should be on cooldown. I'm going to go on ahead and just start opening up. There's no DD for me to try to fight with, so gonna go to town on this guy. I'm not looking to burn a smoke, so what I'm gonna do, if you look at the enemy positioning on the mini-map, I'm gonna duck behind this little low ledge here, and I'm gonna use that to break line of sight. And I'm just gonna sit here and just go to town on this guy. He's backing up, so I'm backing up. This is one of the advantages to high shell arcs. You can do this type of stuff all the time with DDs, and it's really can just be a pain in the ass for people to deal with, because if they don't have shells that basically travel into the stratosphere, they've got no possibility of even shooting you when you're doing these types of plays. So this is one of the best ways I've found in a USDD how to just harass the hell out of ships. It's not big damage, but there is a 6% fire chance on these shells, and I throw enough of them around and there's a fire, and that's pretty much gonna seal that Jean Bart's deal if he didn't go down to the Musashi. So, taking a look around, we're probably going to lose our Alsace on the 8 line. I'm getting radared by the Buffalo. If you're detected, you might as well shoot. So I'm just going to open up on this Musashi. And I know from the enemy positioning, I've still got islands between him and me. Nobody's able to spot me. I'm just able to sit right in here and throw some shots out. I probably should have stopped sooner, so I could have kept shooting. But it is what it is. I'm just gonna try to circle back around. Want to pick up this repair from my team. Now, torpedo-wise, I see the plane here for this Musashi. there's a chance that he's going to go here, but I think he's actually going to go south. So I'm actually lining torps up on this second Musashi. The replay doesn't show it, but it looks like I might catch that guy with torps, because he's speeding up going through that area. Unfortunately, our Buffalo got nuked by the enemy Buffalo. I'm taking a look right here. It's looking pretty good. I don't know if these torps were spotted by the other Musashi, though. It's looking like they weren't. He's not really responding yet, and I think it's too late for him to really try to dodge. And, yeah, it looks like he's going to take at least 4. No flood, and that tells me that he had an active repair. There's no way that 4 black torpedoes did not cause a flood. Absolutely none. This Musashi is hauling ass in here. He's looking for the ram, so I'm trying to help out my teammate, throwing out some AP into his broadside. Try to get this guy worked down as quickly as possible. And my FDG's just barely able to put that guy down before he rams. Our Musashi was making a bit of a misplay, pushing the guy. He very much should have been reversing and trying to delay the ram as long as possible. And here, I mean, we're down to a 3v3. My FDG, I know those torpedoes look sketchy, but my FDG's headed this way, and I'm launching those torps back in here just to try to get any sort of area denial on this Iowa if he tries to angle at this at my FDG. I might be able to punish him with some torps. Unfortunately, my Musashi goes down. We're 2v3, and I mean, the good news is I'm pretty healthy. My FTG's fairly healthy, but at this point, you know, it's time for me to start kicking it up another notch, trying to, you know, get any sort of, you know, additional pressure on the enemy. Had a good dodge there, just changing speed, and gonna change my focus right now to the Iowa. Unfortunately, the Buffalo is he's survived. He's able to radar me. I don't want to really push out of this smoke, so I'm just gonna try to chill out here in the smoke screen. Just juke my throttle around. You know, the issue is I'm kind of pinned against this island at the moment, and we need to get this Iowa down. He gets a good hit there. We're able to put him down, and the Buffalo makes what I think is a mistake. He actually pushes in at the last minute trying to put me down, and that opened him up to the FDG, but he's also broadside to me, so I start slinging AP at him, and I get a good bit of damage on him. He's starting to angle now. I know I'm gonna have to try to switch back to HE. Still getting pins. You know, now it's starting to get a little sketchy, so I'm gonna go ahead, switch back to HE, and you know, just keep trying to put these guys down. I mean, you know, the only real play that I got. Now I'm pretty low HP. I do have a heal that's cooking on my ship right now. If you noticed, I took that shot, and I only took that shot when I was accelerating hard, and that was to basically throw off that shot. Now my smoke's wearing off, so I'm just gonna go on ahead and kite up, and I'm gonna go and just snag that repair party. Um, well, I guess it would be a repair cap, not repair party of the consumable. Just drop some F-off torpedoes on this Musashi. Maybe they hit, maybe they don't. The fire's still cooking on the Musashi, and it looks like he's going to take one torpedo. We're up to 174K. And that's 8 torpedo hits. That's really good for black. The torps are pretty painful when it comes to trying to predictively torp targets and things like that. So that's a misplay. I should not have my AA up. Just forgot to switch it off. But Battleship isn't able to punish me before he goes down. And that's the game. Hope you have a good one.